Hey, today we want to talk about two projects that we've been working on here at Entice and kind of give you an update of where we're at. One of them is our conversion block, and another is our companion website. So let's first kind of dig into the companion website. So if you've been watching my videos, you know that we've been working on this companion website for, going on almost 3 years now. Been kind of a side project for us, but it's really come to be a big part of our solution for our dealers. And it's giving us kind of a new direction as being able to take this companion website and ultimately bring it as a main website for our dealers. We actually have two dealerships in development right now, one a new car franchise dealer and another an independent dealership that wants to utilize this in our beta test group. So if you're out there, you're watching this and you want to participate in our beta test group, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to bring you in. One of the reasons why this becomes pretty exciting is the way that we're able to engage with consumers. And we're going to talk about the conversion block in just a little bit, because that's a tool that can be utilized on our companion site and on a main website if you're using it in that manner. So first of all, let's go ahead and look at this companion website. I'm going to go ahead and share my Mac screen with you real quick. So this right here is, let me move this out of the way. So this is our companion website, and this is our search results page. So what makes this different than a dealership website that you might have right now, or that you have that you're looking at? So I mean, how many website providers are there out there right now? If you're thinking about changing website providers, who are you looking at? What we've done over the last few years is try to figure out what is the most important elements that a dealership should be considering when looking at a website, from an engagement standpoint, a lead conversion standpoint, a speed standpoint, and that's what we've put into this platform. So as you can see, as you could probably tell, it is built in the WordPress platform, which gives us the availability to make sure that we're in sync with everything that is happening in the world of the internet. Since it is an open source platform, it is constantly being updated. Anytime that we get any browser changes, that get quickly updated. I was very anti WordPress websites for a very long time, but after I really understood the strength and the power, I'm a fan. So we're looking at our SRP right here, and you can see on the left-hand side, this is where we have our filtering. Now this is a new feature since I've talked about this last. Now because it's integrated with our technology, we calculate a live payment for all of the vehicles in inventory. And because we have that payment, now we have that payment integrated to our SRP, and we can actually do a search or a filter based on what that payment is. And then additional filters we have on the left-hand side. You can see here, if I just click on one of these filters, it's going to pull up all of the vehicles that are available. So I'm just looking at new vehicles right now. So we're looking at 2023s and 2022s. Now if I come back here, if I get rid of that new filter, it's going to bring in all of my vehicles. You can see here I have all of my vehicles in the upper left-hand corner. I'm showing 24 of them out of the 549 that I have in inventory. And then I can come in here and see all of these. It's given me how many are available in each year. And for example, I can just select which ones I want to see and just do this automatic filtering as I'm going through and viewing these. Now, I can also come in here and look at all of the different makes. This is a really cool way to be able to add that filtering. And we really wanted to make sure that we had a very graphical way to be able to allow customers to do this type of interactivity on your dealership's website. Having some nice warm coffee here on a Friday afternoon. So you can imagine the other types of filtering that we have over on the left-hand side. Another thing I want to talk about is our shop by payment tool that we have up on the upper part of the SRP. Now, this allows a customer to do exactly that, shop by payment. But really the magic in our shop by payment tool is it's going to funnel the customer into one of our lead gen tools first, and that is to get pre-qualified. So for me, if I am hunting around here, maybe I want an SUV, maybe I'm also considering a sedan, I can select my payment range, click the Get Qualified and Shop by Payment. It's going to open up our Loanmaker tool, and this is where I can get pre-qualified. Now, I've gone through this user experience for Loanmaker on previous videos, so I'm not going to spend the time doing it here, but it's pretty cool, right? Put in your name, address, phone number, email address, and we give the customer their real FICO score, and they can complete that credit application. I do want to take just a minute and just share with you a great story I just had from one of our dealers. He called me, and we were talking about a credit application and how difficult it is when you're dealing with a customer and you want them to be able to fill out a credit application. Yes, you can just send them a link to your dealership's website. That credit application many times is going to come into your CRM, and then you're going to have to push that into a credit application portal. You have to verify that the information is coming in is correct. Sometimes the Social Security number gets lost in the shuffle, and you have to re-enter that in as you put it in, and then you're able to go back in there and then do the credit pull. And a lot of times, also, when a customer completes that credit application, it comes into the CRM, and you get no notification that the customer completed it, and you have to go back in there and check and check and check, and then go back to the customer. So some of the things that's really cool about our Loanmaker technology is, first of all, we entice the customer with the ability to see their real FICO score to start the process, and we get them pre-qualified, and then they can complete the process by completing a full credit application, which will automatically integrate that with Route 1 or DealerTrack, and in some cases, it'll automatically pull that customer's bureau. They're authorizing it through our tool with our integration with Route 1 and DealerTrack. So, and when a customer completes that, we're sending a notification to the dealership or any of the dealership managers to let them know that we have a new credit application. So with that said, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and come back over here and share this. So this is that tool right there. Now, when the customer is done, now we've filtered all of these vehicles based on the payment range that the customer selected and any other filters that we might have already applied to this. So, and now shop by payment becomes a great call to action in any advertisements, and we have the ability to create a VDP dealership feed that'll integrate directly to your Facebook AIA catalogs that you need. So if you're running your own automated inventory ads in Facebook, or you want somebody like us to do it, we're able to supply our dealers that feed to be able to run shop by payment ads. We can include that payment right in each individual vehicle posting in Facebook. And of course, when they click through from Facebook, we can drop them right onto a VDP on our companion website. And we're going to get to the VDP in just a second. But before we get there, I want to talk to you about our conversion block, which you're seeing right here, and and some of the other updates to our SRP. Now, so for example, let's go ahead and jump into the VDP. I guess that's probably an easy way to do it. Of course, we have all of the images that are available for a customer to flip through it. These sites look absolutely fantastic on mobile, super clean, super fast. And then a customer could interact with the photos in really cool ways to be able to see all of these images, super high quality. You can pull them over on the side and look at what images are available right there. And then we have our conversion block. Now, if I come back over here and I go into my search results page again, search results page is going to load up here. And then on the SRP itself, the customer can flip through the images right on the SRP. So if you think about a customer visiting your dealership website, going to an SRP, keeping it super clean, and then giving them almost like a Facebook feed type of feel when they're going through your search results page. And then when they're ready, they can click into that VDP and have access to different CTAs. And now let's talk about this conversion block. So the conversion block that we're utilizing, so this is probably the biggest thing dealers are looking at changing, and rightfully so. These are the things that should be changing. And our goal with the CTA block or a stack is to make sure that we're providing very strong calls to action for the customer to engage with and ultimately convert into a lead. I mean, that's kind of the whole goal, right? So with our conversion block, of course, we're going to utilize all of our tools that is available for a dealership or for a customer to use. And that's going to include the ability to schedule a test drive on a particular vehicle. And on an SRP or VDP, we know what vehicle that the customer is looking to schedule a test drive on. Additionally, we can look at the customer has the ability to get a trade-in value or a book value for their trade-in value. So with our partnership with Kelley Blue Book, we also give the customer the ability to get a real offer on their vehicle, just like if they go to Carvana or CarMax or AutoNation, they can get a real offer. We've talked extensively about that on this channel, so if you're interested in that, check out some of my other videos. We also give the customer the ability to get their free credit score, which we just talked about it right from our CTA button. And actually, just let me open up this again so you can see it. So we got the test drive CTA here. Got the test drive CTA here. We got the get book value CTA right here. We got the sell us your car, get a real value, get pre-qualified, get your free credit score. These are all our CTAs. And then we also have our digital retailing tool or build deal CTA, which is available right there as well. Now this CTA block, we get to add this on our VDP and we install it on our SRP. We can also take those exact same CTAs and drop them on your main site. So if you want to use this as a companion to your main website, you can do that. We share Google Analytics code so we don't lose any visibility. We set it up as a subdomain on your dealership's website. So again, it's part of your existing dealership website. We can even customize the URL structure for the SRPs and the VDPs. So if a customer is engaging with the VDP on the companion site or an SRP, it's going to be triggering the exact same metrics in Google Analytics on your dealership's main website, so we can kind of holistically see this engagement. And I think that is probably the biggest thing right now that's missing on most other websites, and something that we've spent a lot of time to build into our solution. Wouldn't it be nice if you could see from an SRP or a VDP how many times a customer is clicking on any one of these CTAs? And we have a very easy way to do that with the way that we're creating our SRPs and our VDPs. And that's through this custom Google Analytics integration with our CTA block. So for example, if I, actually, let me go ahead and share my Mac screen again. I'm going to log into our back end system. So I'm just going to go to intice. I'm going to log in. I'm going to go into my test dealer. Oops. Let me go back to my test dealer real quick here. Now, these are the tools that we have in our back end, and we work with our dealers to be able to make these customizations to really create a CTA block that's exactly how they want to. We actually have a release that's coming out next week that, number one, allows us to split our CTA block for SRP and VDP, so you can have unlimited flexibility in the color, the shape, the font size, the icons that we use for either the SRP and the VDP. And then also we're going to give unlimited flexibility in the order that the CTA block is going to be built out on your dealership's website, VDP or SRP. And we can also upload custom images, whether they're SVG images to make sure they're super fast, or if they're PNGs or any other images, we can upload them right into our system, attach any type of action, one of our tools, or going to another page, or any other type of JavaScript, and also the custom Google Analytics script. With that said, let me pop back over here. So right now we have the ability, as you can see here, to change the color. I'm going to zoom in here. You can see we change the text. Our click to chat button, as you saw, actually is responsive based on device and allows us to change that into two different buttons for a mobile device, click to call or click to text. And there's these types of things that we can track inside of Google Analytics, and we do that by adding on the special Google Analytics scripts and codes right here. We can set the label, the event, all of that right in our back end of the system. And if I'm going to pull up, and you just bear with me a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up one of our dealers' Google Analytics accounts. And the reason I'm going to do this is I want to show you exactly what it looks like inside of Google Analytics. So I've been working with one of our dealers, and they have been wanting to make modifications to their CTAs, and I see this quite a bit where we had the conversations of, well, what kind of CTA should we be using? What kind of tools should we be using? And and a lot of people will say, I think we should make a change like this. I think we'll do better, or I feel like we'll do better if we make this change. And having the ability to rely upon your gut feeling is important. I mean, I think that's what makes the car business, right? Is that the more experience you have in it, the better your gut feeling is going to be. But instead of just going by your gut, wouldn't it make sense to look at the data and let the data drive the decision making? So, I mean, if you're getting a ton of interactivity on a certain button, probably not a good idea to get rid of that button. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to come in here. Let me share my screen again. So we're looking at the events page on Google Analytics. And inside here, you can see right here that we have our conversion block right there. So I'm going to click into the conversion block. The conversion block right here, I also have the ability to click on event label. So as you saw inside of our setup, we can customize the group and the event label. And then from here, you can see you get the payment button, the get my offer, the get pre-approved, click to text, click to call, click to chat. So this is going to be desktop. This is going to be mobile. This is going to be mobile. I think we only have this set for a week, right? Yeah. So you can see what type of engagement that we're getting. And you can see also that the primary CTA that's getting the most type of action is going to be this payment button, 154. So, I mean, just at a guess, that's probably more than 50% of the overall traffic. What I'm also going to do real quick is actually, I can share this on my screen. I am going to come in here. So with Google Analytics, you have the ability to create segments, and you can create custom segments. We have SRP new and used as segments. So if you attach those segments to the events inside of Google Analytics, now we can see on a new car, we have a 63, and on used car, we had 61. get my offer, 16, 17. I mean, look how even that is. Inventory use, click to text more often on used cars. So it's really cool to see. Another thing we can do is we can look at, we can segment this by SRP and VDP. Are we getting more action on a VDP or an SRP? And then you can use that information to drive decision making. The last thing I want to talk about today is being able to take that information and then run multivariate tests. So I want to say right in the middle of the pandemic, I want to say it was probably the 2020 digital dealer. I was selected to speak. I did a virtual session. And one of the things I talked about in that virtual session was utilizing Google Optimize. I shared my ideas on how to set up a VDP for visually to be optimized for how customers are interacting with the VDP, and how you want to utilize these best practices on your VDP to increase the amount of leads generated from your dealership website. But also, we talked about multivariate tests. Google Optimize is a free tool that's available inside of Google Analytics, that platform anyways. And what's cool about Google Optimize is if it's used properly, you can set up a test on a CTA block, and you can have this test set up basically saying, well, what do customers prefer to interact with on a SRP or a VDP from a CTA standpoint? And what colors or font sizes or messages work best? So instead of just guessing what works best, you can run and set up a multivariate test inside of Google Optimize and run these tests, such as, let's change the color. Let's change from red to green, or from red to blue, or like a Honda blue versus a red on a CTA. And what Google Optimize will do is it'll serve up different versions of that CTA based on the tests, and then as customers view it and as they interact with it, they'll be able to show based on the data which one is more effective. So instead of using your gut, instead of just guessing, or even using the data from a historical standpoint, you can run some live tests with Google Optimize. So in this video, what I really wanted to be able to do was talk about our conversion websites, how you can utilize these as a companion to your existing dealership website, how we can share Google Analytics information from one to another so you don't lose out on any visibility, how you can create really cool ways to be able to have customers interact right on your SRP or VDP. And also, I wanted to talk about the conversion block itself, how that is embedded on these sites directly. I mean, you can take those exact same conversion blocks and put it on your main dealership website. So regardless of it, if it's on the companion site or your main site, or if you're using our companion site for a main site, anyway, we are able to track all of those interactions on the CTAs and how those clicks ultimately end up to leads. And then we can look at that lead quality, of course. So in this video, we covered our new companion sites, some of the upgrades to it with the filtering. We talked about our conversion block and some of the new updates that we actually have coming out next week. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to me. I'd love to be able to set up some one-on-one time to review some of this information, show off our stuff. And of course, right now it's 5:02 on a Friday, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. You're going to find this video and many others at intice.com.